Ladies and gentlemen, life is not a gentle stream. It is a roaring river filled with obstacles, challenges, and moments when giving up seems the easiest choice. But the path to greatness, the road to achievement, is never paved with ease. It is forged in the furnace of persistence, fueled by the iron will to keep moving forward no matter what. You see, success does not come to those who wait for perfect conditions or the ideal moment. It comes to those who force themselves to keep going when every fiber of their being screams for rest or surrender. It is the relentless, disciplined action in the face of adversity that separates the victorious from the defeated. Imagine for a moment a traveler climbing a mountain, battered by wind and rain. The summit is shrouded in clouds, unseen, and the legs grow weary. Yet, those who press on, those who force themselves to take one more step, are the ones who stand victorious at the peak. To force yourself to keep going is to master your own mind, to harness your inner strength, and to reject the excuses that whisper, "Give up." It means transforming your fears, doubts, and failures into stepping stones. It means understanding that every setback is a setup for a greater comeback. Remember this: the most extraordinary achievements in history were accomplished by people who refused to quit, who made the decision to persevere no matter the cost. Their secret was not luck or talent alone, but a fierce commitment to force themselves to keep going when the path was darkest. So, I challenge you today, cultivate the habit of persistence. When obstacles arise, lean into them. When fatigue calls, summon your inner reserves. When doubt creeps in, remind yourself why you started. Your dreams demand no less. Your future depends on it. Force yourself to keep going and watch how the impossible becomes inevitable. Life is full of challenges. Success demands persistence through adversity. It's important to understand that feeling fear, doubt, and uncertainty along the way is not only normal, but expected. These emotions do not signal that you are failing or that you lack the ability to succeed. On the contrary, they are part of the journey, indicators that you are pushing your limits and stepping beyond your comfort zone. You don't have to be perfect to move forward. Perfection is an illusion that often traps people in hesitation and procrastination. Instead, recognize that vulnerability is not a sign of weakness. It is a demonstration of courage, the courage to admit that the path is hard, the courage to acknowledge that you are not flawless, and the courage to keep going despite the obstacles before you. Success does not favor those who are flawless. It favors those who are consistent, those who choose to show up every day, even when they don't feel ready, even when the doubts creep in and the fear threatens to paralyze. It is in these moments, when the mind begs to quit, that the seeds of greatness are sown. Forcing yourself to keep going when the world says stop is the ultimate test of character. It is the difference between dreams left unfulfilled and those that become reality. You must learn to train your mind to view challenges as opportunities, not roadblocks. Every setback, every failure, every moment of uncertainty is a lesson in disguise. The ability to persist despite adversity builds resilience and sharpens your resolve. The most successful people throughout history were not those who avoided failure. They were those who embraced it, learned from it, and kept moving forward with renewed determination. Persistence is not merely about stubbornness or blind endurance. It is a conscious decision to focus on your purpose and refuse to let distractions or difficulties derail you. It requires a strong sense of why you started your journey and the vision of what you want to achieve. This clarity acts as a beacon, guiding you through the darkest moments when giving up seems like the easiest choice. When you force yourself to keep going, you are teaching your mind to rise above excuses and negative thoughts. You are strengthening the muscle of discipline, which becomes your most powerful ally in the pursuit of success. This process is not instantaneous. It is built day by day, choice by choice, step by step. Every time you choose persistence over surrender, you reinforce the belief that you are capable of overcoming anything. In life, the road will rarely be smooth or easy, but those who make the decision to persist, who refuse to give up regardless of fear or failure, ultimately find themselves standing on the summit, looking back with pride at the mountain they climbed. The ability to force yourself to keep going is not just a skill for success. It is a mindset that transforms challenges into triumphs and turns dreams into reality. Dieting for perfect conditions is a trap that many fall into, unknowingly delaying their progress and dimming their potential. The truth is, perfect conditions rarely exist. Life is messy, unpredictable, and often inconvenient. If you wait until everything is flawlessly aligned, until the timing feels just right, the resources are abundant, and all doubts have vanished, you may find yourself waiting forever. Action, despite imperfection, is essential because it is through movement, even imperfect movement, that momentum builds and growth occurs. When you start, despite uncertainty, you open the door to possibilities that waiting alone can never create. Taking imperfect action means accepting that mistakes will happen, that the first attempt might be clumsy, and that progress may be slow. But these are not reasons to hesitate. They are the very fuel for improvement in learning. In fact, every great achievement in history began as an imperfect step, taken by someone who refused to wait for flawless conditions. By acting now, you engage your mind and your spirit in problem solving and creativity. Challenges will arise, but each challenge becomes an opportunity to adjust, adapt, and strengthen your resolve. Waiting for perfection encourages passivity and fosters fear, whereas taking action, even with flaws, builds confidence and empowers you to overcome obstacles. Imperfection is not the enemy of success. It is a companion on the journey. The willingness to start where you are with what you have reflects a mindset of growth and resilience. It says, I am willing to learn. I am willing to improve. I am willing to move forward despite the uncertainty. This courage to act propels you ahead of those who hesitate, those who allow fear of imperfection to chain them in place. Remember, the most successful people do not wait for perfect moments. They create progress from imperfect actions. Each step forward, no matter how small or flawed, brings you closer to your goals. The path to success is built one imperfect step at a time, fueled by the determination to keep going regardless of circumstances. Action, even when imperfect, transforms dreams into reality. For forcing yourself to keep going means pushing beyond comfort and fatigue, stepping into a space where most people hesitate or turn back. Comfort is a tempting place, a zone where everything feels safe and predictable. But true growth, true achievement never happens within the boundaries of comfort. When you force yourself to move forward despite exhaustion or the desire to stop, you tap into a reservoir of strength that is often hidden beneath the surface. It is in those moments of struggle, when your body protests and your mind whispers excuses, that you discover how much more you are truly capable of. Fatigue, both physical and mental, can cloud your judgment and drain your motivation, making quitting seem like the simplest option. But those who learn to push through fatigue build resilience. They train their mind and body to endure discomfort because they understand that perseverance in these moments is the gateway to breakthrough. Every time you override the impulse to give up, you reinforce a powerful habit, the habit of persistence. Pushing beyond comfort also means embracing uncertainty and discomfort as allies rather than enemies. It requires discipline to keep your eyes on the goal while your surroundings or circumstances scream for rest or retreat. This discipline is not about brute force alone. It's about cultivating a mindset that values progress over ease, action over inaction. Forcing yourself to keep going teaches you the invaluable lesson that limitations are often self-imposed. You will be surprised how much energy, creativity, and focus can emerge when you refuse to yield to fatigue or complacency. This is where transformation happens, where ordinary efforts become extraordinary results. Ultimately, pushing past comfort and fatigue is the path to unlocking your full potential. It's the proof that your willpower is stronger than your obstacles. It separates those who dream from those who achieve, because it's not the absence of difficulty that leads to success, it's the courage to move forward despite it. Persistency is a mental discipline, a skill that begins in the mind and governs every step you take. Mastering your thoughts means learning to direct your mental energy toward your goals rather than allowing distractions, doubts, or fears to dictate your actions. The mind is a powerful tool. When it is focused and disciplined, it becomes the engine that drives relentless effort. But when left unchecked, it can become your greatest enemy, convincing you to quit, to settle, or to give up before the journey is complete. To persist is to take control over this internal dialogue. It means recognizing when negative thoughts arise and choosing not to entertain them. Instead, you replace them with affirmations of your strength, your purpose, and your capacity to overcome obstacles. This process is not always easy. Your mind will resist change because it clings to familiar patterns, including doubt and fear. But with practice, persistence becomes a habit of thought as natural as breathing. Mastering your thoughts also involves setting clear intentions and visualizing success. When you consistently picture yourself achieving your goals, your mind begins to align your actions toward that reality. This mental discipline creates a powerful feedback loop. Positive, focused thinking leads to purposeful action, which builds momentum and confidence, reinforcing the mindset that failure is only temporary and success is within reach. Persistence is not blind stubbornness, but a deliberate choice to stay committed, especially when challenges arise. It's the ability to harness your mental energy, keep distractions at bay, and refuse to let temporary setbacks control your journey. The most successful individuals are those who have trained their minds to work for them, not against them, who understand that controlling your thoughts is the foundation upon which lasting perseverance is built. In mastering your mental discipline, you gain the power to shape your reality. Your thoughts become the architects of your actions, and persistence becomes the bridge that carries you across the chasms of doubt and difficulty. This is how great achievements are born, from a mind disciplined to keep going when everything else tempts you to stop. Every failure or setback is an opportunity to learn and grow stronger, even though it may not feel that way in the moment. When you encounter obstacles, it can be tempting to view them as signs that you're not cut out for success or that your efforts are in vain. But this perspective limits your growth and keeps you trapped in a cycle of discouragement. Instead, embracing failure as a teacher transforms these difficult experiences into powerful stepping stones on your path Each setback carries within it a lesson waiting to be uncovered. It reveals what doesn't work, highlights areas that need improvement, and forces you to reassess your approach. The truly successful are those who don't shy away from failure. They welcome it as an inevitable part of progress. They understand that every stumble brings them closer to mastery, and that true growth often comes from discomfort and challenge. The ability to extract value from failure requires a mindset shift, from seeing failure as defeat to viewing it as feedback. This shift empowers you to analyze what went wrong, make necessary adjustments, and try again with greater wisdom and resilience. It's through this process that your character is forged and your resolve strengthened. Failures also build emotional strength. Facing setbacks teaches patience, humility, and perseverance. It trains you to remain calm under pressure and to maintain belief in your vision even when the journey becomes difficult. These qualities cannot be developed through easy success alone. They emerge only when you confront adversity head on. Moreover, learning from failure fosters creativity and innovation. When one approach fails, you are compelled to think differently, to innovate, and to discover new solutions. This adaptability is a hallmark of those who eventually break through barriers and achieve lasting success. In essence, every failure is not an end, but a beginning, a chance to grow stronger, wiser, and more determined. The willingness to embrace setbacks and learn from them is what separates those who achieve their dreams from those who abandon them. The path to success is paved with lessons learned from every misstep along the way. Reach achievements are won by those who refuse to quit, regardless of obstacles. Success rarely comes easily or quickly. It is earned by those who meet resistance with determination rather than defeat. The journey toward any meaningful goal is lined with challenges, unexpected twists, setbacks, and moments when giving up seems like the simplest, most reasonable option. Yet those who achieve greatness are distinguished by their refusal to surrender in the face of these hardships. When others stop because the path becomes difficult, those who persevere see an opportunity to rise above the struggle. Obstacles are not barriers, but tests of commitment, measuring how badly you want your goal and how willing you are to endure hardship to attain it. The strength to refuse quitting comes from a deep belief in your purpose, a vision so compelling that no setback can extinguish it. This refusal to quit cultivates a mindset of resilience. Instead of asking, "Why me?" or "Why now?" the persistent ask, "What can I learn? And how can I push forward despite this?" They understand that every challenge overcome makes them stronger, and every failure endured brings them closer to success. It is this relentless spirit that enables them to break through limitations that others accept as final. Moreover, refusing to quit keeps you in the game long enough for luck, timing, and opportunity to align with your efforts. Many give up just before their breakthrough. The difference between those who achieve greatness and those who don't is often simply the decision to keep going one more day, one more hour, one more step beyond the point where quitting seemed inevitable. Great achievements require endurance. They demand not only talent or intelligence, but also a steadfast heart that refuses to be defeated. When you adopt this mindset, obstacles become fuel rather than barriers. The refusal to quit becomes your greatest weapon, and through it, you claim the victories others only dream of. Self-motivation requires rejecting excuses and embracing responsibility. It is easy to fall into the trap of blaming circumstances, other people, or external factors when things don't go as planned. Excuses provide temporary comfort. They shield us from accountability and delay action. But true progress begins the moment you stop making excuses and take full ownership of your journey. Embracing responsibility means acknowledging that your success or failure ultimately depends on your choices and efforts. When you accept responsibility, you reclaim control over your life. You recognize that while you cannot always control what happens around you, you can control how you respond. This shift in mindset empowers you to move from a place of helplessness to one of action. Instead of waiting for someone else to fix your problems or create opportunities, you become the driving force behind your own progress. Rejecting excuses is not about harsh self-judgment or denial of challenges. It's about refusing to let those challenges define your limits. It means saying, I may face obstacles, but I will find a way through them. This attitude fuels self-motivation because it replaces passivity with purpose. When you embrace responsibility, you take ownership not just of your successes, but also of your failures, viewing them as valuable lessons rather than reasons to quit. This sense of accountability sharpens your focus and intensifies your commitment. You begin to see that your goals are not dependent on luck or external approval, but on your willingness to work relentlessly, adapt when necessary, and persevere despite difficulties. Self-motivation grows from this foundation of responsibility, because when you hold yourself accountable, you create an inner drive that pushes you forward no matter what. In the end, embracing responsibility and rejecting excuses is the cornerstone of personal power. It transforms you from a passive observer into an active creator of your destiny, making self-motivation not just possible, but inevitable. Inner strength comes from a clear purpose and unwavering commitment to your goals. Without a defined purpose, the journey becomes aimless, and the challenges you face can easily shake your resolve. Purpose acts as the compass that guides your actions and fuels your passion, giving you a reason to endure hardship and persevere when the path grows difficult. When you know exactly why you're striving, that clarity ignites a fire within, a fire that keeps burning even when external circumstances threaten to extinguish it. Unwavering commitment means dedicating yourself fully to your vision, no matter how long or arduous the journey may be. It's the refusal to be swayed by distractions, setbacks, or the opinions of others. This steadfast focus strengthens your willpower and sharpens your determination. It transforms fleeting motivation into lasting drive, helping you push through fatigue, doubt, and frustration. Together, purpose and commitment create a foundation of inner strength that is unshakable. They give you the resilience to rise after failure and the courage to face uncertainty head on. With a clear purpose, every challenge becomes meaningful. With unwavering commitment, every obstacle becomes surmountable. This inner strength is not something you are simply born with. It is cultivated through intention and persistence. The more you align your daily actions with your purpose and reinforce your commitment, the stronger this strength grows. It becomes a wellspring of energy and confidence that carries you forward when external support wanes and difficulties mount. Ultimately, inner strength rooted in purpose and commitment is what separates those who dream from those who achieve. It is the power that sustains you through the toughest trials and propels you toward the fulfillment of your highest ambitions. The habit of persistence can be cultivated through daily choices to advance. Persistence is not simply a trait people are born with. It is a practice, a discipline that grows stronger each time you decide to move forward despite challenges. Every day presents an opportunity to either give in to doubt and fatigue or to push a little further toward your goals. The consistent choice to advance, no matter how small the step, builds momentum, and strengthens your ability to persevere. When you make persistence a daily habit, it becomes part of your character. It shifts from being a conscious effort to an automatic response, a natural reaction when faced with obstacles. This transformation happens because repeated actions create neural pathways in the brain, making perseverance easier and more instinctive over time. In essence, persistence becomes a muscle you train by choosing progress each day. It's important to recognize that persistence doesn't require grand gestures or dramatic leaps every day. Sometimes it's the small, steady actions, showing up, putting in the work, learning from mistakes that add up to meaningful progress. Each choice to keep going, even when motivation is low, compounds into lasting success. Cultivating this habit also means setting realistic goals and breaking them down into manageable tasks. When the path ahead feels overwhelming, focusing on just the next step helps maintain forward motion. By celebrating these small victories, you reinforce the habit of persistence and motivate yourself to keep going. Ultimately, persistence is built through the accumulation of countless daily decisions to advance. The more consistently you choose to persist, the stronger your resolve becomes, and the more unstoppable your journey toward success will be. Forcing yourself forward transforms the impossible into achievable reality. When you push beyond your limits, when you refuse to accept defeat, no matter how daunting the challenge, you begin to break down barriers that once seemed insurmountable. The word impossible is often just a label we place on things we have not yet conquered or understood. But every great breakthrough in history started as something deemed impossible, until someone decided to force themselves forward despite doubt, fear, or failure. This process of pushing through resistance creates momentum. Each step forward, no matter how difficult or uncertain, chips away at the walls of limitation. What once looked like an unreachable dream gradually becomes a tangible goal. Forcing yourself to keep moving isn't about reckless persistence. It's about deliberate, focused action, fueled by belief and determination. When you force yourself forward, you shift your mindset from one of limitation to one of possibility. You train your mind to see obstacles as temporary and solvable rather than permanent roadblocks. This shift opens your creativity and resourcefulness, allowing you to find new ways around problems and new paths toward your goals. Moreover, forcing yourself forward builds confidence. With every small victory over adversity, you prove to yourself that you are capable of more than you thought. This growing self-belief becomes a powerful engine, propelling you toward achievements that once seemed out of reach. Ultimately, forcing yourself forward is the key to turning dreams into realities. It transforms fear into courage, doubt into faith, and the impossible into the achievable. By refusing to stop, you create a new story for yourself, one where limits dissolve and success becomes not just a possibility, but an inevitability. So remember this: the path to success is never smooth or easy. It demands that you push yourself beyond comfort, silence the voice of doubt, and rise each time you fall. When you force yourself to keep going, no matter how tough the journey, you're not just chasing a dream, you're shaping your destiny. The power to transform the impossible into reality lies within you. Choose to stand firm, take that next step, and keep moving forward. Your future is waiting. Make it extraordinary by refusing to quit.